Hi, my name is Chris. I work here at the 3D shop in Martinsville, Virginia. Our boss is Duncan, and we're a team of 9 people, each with our own strengths and weaknesses, so that way together we can always get the job done. We are always on the look to expand our business, grow in the community, and just find fun things to print. Well, I think we found something pretty fun to print. We found this video by Morley Kurt. It is a great video. I highly recommend going and giving it a watch, but if you don't have the time right now, the abridged version is that Morley and Slant 3D worked and collaborated together and they 3D printed a giant spinning top chair. We loved the video and it was a lot of inspiration. We watch a lot of Morley all the time, but we noticed a couple things about it and we just wanted to take our own swing at it. One thing we noticed was that it was pretty difficult for Morley to assemble the whole chair. There was a lot of pieces and it looked like there was just way too many steps involved. Our solution to that is to do bigger pieces. Bigger pieces would be fewer pieces. In order to do bigger pieces, you need a bigger printer. We have smaller printers here, but how big of a printer do we actually have? Our Bamboos, next size up would probably be our Prusa XL. After that, Neptune 4 Max. But even then, we wanted to go bigger. Luckily, here in the 3D shop, we have access to this beauty right here. This is our large format 3D printer. It is 1200 by 1200 by 1200 cubed, and it is technically big enough to print this chair in one piece from start to finish, but we'll get into later on why we decided not to go that route, but it could if we wanted to. It takes 285 filament instead of your standard 175. This is our big boy. That's for short. It can do life-size Pokemon. It can do big signs that we've done for apartment complexes, but in this video you're going to see how we used it to make a chair. Okay, so as far as designing this chair goes, it wasn't that difficult. What I did is go into Fusion and I actually did it pretty similar to the way Morley did it, but I just calibrated the image, so I'm clicking the 2 endpoints right now and I'm going to scale it to 36 inches wide. Once it's scaled up, my plan is to create a center line or like a center axis to revolve my shape around. So here in a second I'm going to start just tracing the chair here, and my end goal is to create that enclosed space, and then what I can do from there is use the revolve function in Fusion 360. I'm just cleaning up some of my edges right here, making them a bit more round. I don't want any sharp angles or anything. I'm just trying to make it flow a little bit nicer, but right here, select that, and then I did that center line there, and it's just a nice little revolve, and it was pretty quick and simple. I know I sped it up, but it still didn't take me long. For this, even though the chair can be printed in one single piece on our printer, I'm splitting it up into 2 different pieces. My plan is to print them in the orientation that you're seeing on screen right now, and that is because the smaller piece over here has such steep overhangs that the support material would be a nightmare to get off. For this right here, my plan is to try to make the bottom a bit more beefy because that's where all the weight is going to be touching the floor. I played around with some different settings, infill settings, number of walls, number of top layers, just trying to find a right balance between everything. I settled on making it like fairly dense, I want to say. You can kind of see the infill right there. I wanted it to be really strong because that's where all the weight's going to be on the floor. For the top, I figured that the weight was going to be distributed a lot more evenly, so I didn't worry as much about making it as beefy as far as number of layers or as much infill. So I kind of went a little bit lighter on that, but just still strong enough. Okay, we have everything designed and sliced for the big printer, so now the only thing left to do is start printing. Here's a quick montage of the first half printing, and then some explanation afterwards about what's so special about the footage. So we posted some of that footage on our TikTok and Instagram and tagged Morley in the video. Not too long after, to our amazement, he replied. My boss and Morley had a short call and set up a proper meeting to talk about what exactly we were up to.
Yeah, so thanks for hopping back on with us, man. The part is finished. We're really excited to show you the bottom part. We're gonna take it off the bed and show it to you in a second.
Sounds good.
All right, man. You excited to see it?
Yeah. Is it all put together?
No.
So right now it is currently just the bottom part. We where it is not a pellet extruder, we kind of have to do the rolls of filament, and when it runs out, we kind of have to feed it back through, load it back up. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So this is one piece. I'm not sure quite what happened here. I wonder if there was like a little bit of a snag in the filament.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to be an issue as beefy as I made it.
Yeah. Have you taken it off the bed yet, or is it still stuck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me show you Chris holding this thing.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah. It's like a pretty big chair when it's all put together, like
Yeah.
kind of deceivingly so. Wow. How heavy is that?
We think it's anywhere from 40 pounds, maybe.
My best guess is probably about 35, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
It's just
That's kind of
awkward
crazy because the one that I made, I think the whole thing ended up being between 40 and 50.
Well, we made this, I think I was telling you in our last call, we made this one a bit more dense. And also, one thing I showed you too is that it was a 2mm nozzle. So as you get closer, you can see the actual lines on it, like the actual path of the nozzle. It's a beefy thing. So we're going to put it on the ground here.
Oh, you can use it like a balance board. You could like stand on it.
Yeah. You're saying you could use like a balance board.
It's probably a pretty like intensive an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet.
If you flip it over, Chris, like you were saying, Chris can like step on it. If you flip it over to this side, the floor is a little uneven. That's the only thing we're concerned with, but it'll hold his weight just fine.
Nice.
Not saying much, but
yeah. The biggest thing with that is, without like using it like a balance board like you were talking about, is that when we have the full chair assembled, it's gonna distribute that weight. It's a bit of a behemoth. So,
sweet.
But you said
I'm guessing that you did not need to like bulk it up that much, because the real chair is it's not weighted on the bottom. I think it's because of the shape of it, there's not really a risk of it tipping over. But yours will be extra stable.
I was more worried about it breaking rather than having it weighted more at the bottom there. I mean, this and this are going to be your two contact points on the ground.
Mhm.
So I wanted to make sure that those were extra strong.
Yeah, that's what Gabe was concerned with as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done some like modifiers to make the very middle part less percent infill, but
Mhm.
I mean, I just went for it.
Yeah,
But that's also on
nice
the
job.
very
It's
bottom.
sweet.
Next piece is going to be twice as big. Maybe not quite that far out, but it's 26 inches tall, 36 inches wide. Based off of your sketch, actually. Quick interruption. We had some technical difficulties with our internet, so some of our meeting froze, but long story short, we talked about how we would like to donate the chair to a local school. There are some pictures and videos towards the end with a full breakdown of analytics of how long it did take to print, how much the chair weighed, filament cost, things like that. But back to our meeting.
Sorry, you broke up kind of during that whole sentence. Do you mind just repeating that?
Is there anything you think that would be a drawback? Assuming we don't get, like, maybe there's like a reason we shouldn't on their end, any reason we should like push to say, hey, we really want to give this to them. Like, only thing I could think of is like a liability thing, like a YouTube perspective, like why that might not be. To us, I think that's the winning idea.
To donate to the classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's an awesome idea.
Thank you again, man. Yeah. If you can think of, if anything comes to mind and you think of us for something, man, if you want to do another one when it's actually complete or whatever, I mean, or we can just send you pictures, whatever you want to do. We really appreciate you giving us your time. It's it means a lot to us.
No problem. It's fun to help out.
All right, man. Well, you have a good weekend. Good rest of your afternoon. And
you too.
We'll keep you in the loop.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Bye.
Bye.
But man, is this thing big. A little bit of stringing, which I've seen worse. on the big guy. But I mean, that's quick and easy to clean up. Not too bad. Okay, so we've slid it around a little bit. But now, Joe here is about to take it off. We're gonna see just how heavy it actually is.
It's pretty hefty. I mean, I would say about what I expected for something this big.
Yeah. If you had to give it a pound,
A
you know,
pound,
if yeah.
50 to 75,
Okay.
if not more.
Okay. So between that piece and the blue piece that we've got, we're gonna see just exactly how much this chair does weigh. Okay. Oh, that was a cool shot. You could kind of see the gyroid in it, the infill kind of showing through.
Just to kind of get a picture of the whole chair.
That's almost a perfect fit. Well, it should be.
I mean, it should be.
It should be a perfect fit. But man. Next up, I guess, we're gonna take probably some JB Weld and fuse these two pieces together, and next time you see this thing, it should be ready to sit in. So it has been about 3 days since our last update. Some things came up, we had some events and whatnot, but as you'll notice, it is back in 2 pieces. So I think we were a little overzealous, little optimistic, thinking that 1 JB Weld was going to be enough. 1.5, 1.25. There's some debate going on how much actually was used, but 1.25 JB Weld was definitely not enough. We currently went out. This should be more than enough, I'm hoping. If it is not, we've got some other problems. Something else that I started to think about is this was printed on a glass bed. We did not sand it. So the texture on the 2 surfaces meeting each other was definitely a bit more glossy. And so what I'm going to do now is sand the 2 halves, give it a little bit more bite. I think I have some 60 or 80 grit sandpaper. We're going to use this epoxy. We're going to let it set for an hour, and then just as an extra little bit of strength and prayers, what we're going to do then is go around the rim where the 2 edges meet, and we're going to take a soldering iron and try to melt some of that together, do a little bit of plastic welding, and hopefully it'll hold. I want to sit in it, but I'm nervous. Oh man. This is definitely weird. That's something right there. This is pretty cool. It's a little terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. It feels like I'm on.
You're constantly gonna fall over.
Yeah, it feels like I'm on. What you call it? You know that teacup, those teacup rides that
Yeah.
twirl at the fair. But yeah, when it comes back like this, I feel like I am going to just fling backwards.
Sounds like it's off the floor of the chair.
I don't know if
No,
it's
that's
the
a good. That's
or if it's the chair.
that's a good. I don't know.
That's an excellent question. Oh my goodness, I don't know what that creaking sound was just now. Come on down.
Not gonna rip it all to the side.
Trust it.
I mean, long. You spun in it.
I mean, it's not
The
creaking
last
as much.
It might have been the weakness of the glue last time.
Yeah, from where it wasn't as covered.
I mean, it is fun. If I was a kid, I would love this. Actually, no, I love this now.
I love this now.
Question is, like, do you donate it or do you just keep it here, though?
We're gonna donate it.
Really?
Yeah, we can make another one.
We can always just hit reprint. So, we had our fun, we played around in it, but all good things must come to an end. We went to Martinsville Middle School. It is a local middle school here in Martinsville. And we gave a presentation to 2 separate 6th grade classes. Afterwards, we gifted the chair to them. They got to play around in it. We were given permission to show lots of videos and pictures of the kids enjoying the chair, but just to try to mitigate the amount of exposure we get the children to, online, we're just going to show a couple of pictures of us at the presentation, a few of the kids enjoying it. We wanted to try to keep it to a minimum as possible. But overall, we had a blast with this whole experience from start to finish. I'm sure you're interested to know a little bit more about how long it took to print, how much did it weigh, the whole process, how much did it cost us, stuff like that. As far as pure cost goes, I spent right about $350 to $400 in filament. We were able to bulk buy some spools from Polymaker, and we've got the giant 3 kilogram spools. The whole thing together weighed about 55 to 60 pounds, so I guess it was just some mind games. The weight being distributed kind of odd throughout the whole thing definitely messed with our brain on how much we thought it weighed. Print time. If the big printer ran nonstop, it should have taken about 5-6 days. However, where we had the 3 kilogram spools and it would run out, if it ran out in the middle of the night, then we kind of had to wait till morning to put more filament into it. So I think it took about a week and a half for both halves to be printed once we started. And most of that was just due to downtime. We do all kinds of other things here at the 3D shop. We are not just make big fun chair people. We do client orders, custom design work. We are proficient in Fusion 360 and Blender. We print cosplay stuff, engineering stuff. We do projects for big companies, small companies. We do signs for local businesses. Our big printer helps with that a lot. On our website, you can actually reach out if you're interested in getting something printed. So we do bulk orders of things over and over again. I mean, a one-off print or something that someone wants, thousands to be printed of, we can do it. We are not the biggest print farm, but we are a very dedicated print farm, and we do our best to get the job done. But I'm Chris. This is the 3D shop, and thank you for watching.